All right, guys, it's time for another Pierson Workholding Q&A. This time, we're talking lean manufacturing. Okay, for this week's questions, we got, how do you implement lean without everyone freaking out? Where should I start with lean? And what do you do if an employee doesn't embrace lean? These are great questions. So how do you implement lean without everyone freaking out? I get this question a lot. Last week I was at a business owners meeting and he knew of Paul Akers. He's actually a woodworking company business owner. And he said, you know Paul Akers? I'm like, dude, it's great. Yes, he's changed, the life of a business. He's made lean accessible. And we're just talking about how great lean is. But how do you sell that to your employees? And should you be the one to sell it to your employees? So here's how I would recommend. First of all, you have to communicate that lean is for their benefit. Now, the Toyota production system is what created lean. When those principles came to the United States, Americans like us, they said, ooh, wow, here's this new methodology to be more productive. Production means more money. That had a damaging effect throughout the American manufacturing community because people were seen as units of measurement, ROI, everything was about profit, profit, profit. The lean that we practice and Paul Akers speaks often about is people-centric lean. Creating a work environment that is not a struggle, creating a safe work environment, creating a work environment where your employees want to retire at the company. That means the most to me. When I'm laying on my deathbed, I really don't want to lay back going, boy, I'm glad I made a lot of money. What is most important to me is, did I treat people right? And if that means I lose some money or spend money to make the work environment a lot better, I'm going to rest well at night and probably in a weird, morbid way, die happy. So communicating first that lean is for them. It's not some top-down mentality. Getting your employees to buy into it. Now, the next tip I would say is to start small. If you come in all gung-ho on Monday morning and you're like, we're gonna change this, this, and that, people naturally, not just employees I'm talking, but people in general are resistant to change. I would say 90% of the population hates change. As a business owner, you tend to be more of a risk taker, so change is just part of your nature. But when you have a dedicated employee that really likes a good solid paycheck, regular paycheck, good stable employment, shaking things up with new methodology is a scary proposition. So I start small. What we did is we took the most disorganized drawer in our tool setup cart. We opened it up and we 3S'd. 3S is sweep, sort, standardize. I know lean methodology talks about 5. We keep it simple, sweep, sort, standardize. That works for us. And then we repeat. That's kind of like sustain, so you're kind of doing 4S, and shine, it's sweep, you clean, it's kind of, it's all repackaged into 3S. So we sweep, get rid of the stuff that does not belong to garbage. You know how many Allen wrenches we had in our tool setup cart that we never used? I mean, it seems like every time we lost an Allen wrench that we really needed, we would just buy another 15 pack, and then not use 14 of them. So we got rid of all that stuff. Then we sorted the things that we used often, we put in that drawer, and then we used Kaizen foam to place them. So everything that you use, you sort by putting them in their place, and only that item goes in that place. These days we kind of color code because we have multiple setup carts. We know that if there's an Allen wrench with a yellow band, it goes to the mill setup cart. If it's a blue band or white band, it goes to our assembly area. Again, that's sorting and then standardizing. If it doesn't have a place, give it a place. Now, once you've created that place, identify it with that color code that I just spoke about. So really start small, Start simple, 3S, sweep, sort, and standardize. You'd be amazed at the buy-in once you see how one employee's work area got that much better, then that tends to snowball. So that's my advice. Next question, where should I start? Like I just mentioned, start small, but start where you're gonna get the biggest bang for your buck or for your effort. For us, it was our tool cart. In some videos I've seen in different shops I've toured, it's the workbench. The workbench has tons of stuff. It's got papers, coffee mugs, empty coffee cups, laptops, scrap parts. If you could clear that, when you clear the clutter, you're really clearing your mind. It has a really calming mental effect. So start where the biggest problem is. We still carry on that mentality. We always say, fix what bugs you. If something is just bugging you, stop, take the time to fix it. In a job shop, you think, well, I don't have time to fix it because I'm so busy. No. If you stop and fix something that bugs you or is a big inefficiency, now you will have more time to produce product. And then again, that snowball effect, you'll have such a dialed in production stream that you go, wow, what else can I fix? And then you're actually looking for things to fix and not looking for things to catch up on. So yeah, definitely start where there's the biggest problem, and again, start small. And last question, what do you do with an employee that doesn't embrace lean? Tongue in cheek, I kind of say, let them suffer. If they don't want to embrace lean, it's their work area that is going to be inefficient, it's going to be dirty, it's going to be disorganized, there's going to be a bunch of physical and mental clutter. If you've done the first step of communicating that lean is to make their life better, they're going to want to buy on. Now, the resistance I've had with different employees over the years is some people aren't that creative and they go, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it better. That's the beauty of a collaborative lean environment. I always ask them, well, tell me something that bugs you. Or I always ask new employees, hey man, you've been here for a few weeks, maybe a few months. What sucks around here? And a few years ago, my guy said, you know what? Refilling the coolant in the machine really stinks. He's carrying 5-gallon buckets like we've all done. I go, wow, that's a really good observation. It hasn't really bugged me over the years because I'm working. And so now we put our 55-gallon drum of coolant with a hose on a cart plugged into the garden hose. So now we wheel that barrel to the machine. We have kind of like this Venturi siphon pump that we dial in the concentration, simply turn it on, hose goes into the machine, not into a bucket. Now we're not waiting a lean waste to fill up buckets, carry them. That's wasted motion. It can be well, it's definitely over processing by filling a bucket and then 10 seconds later dumping it out. Coolant goes right into the machine. It's little things like that. So having a collaborative environment where you ask them, what's bugging you? Hey guys, gather around. He doesn't have ideas. I don't have ideas. What do you think? Some of the best ideas around this company came from the proverbial low man on the totem pole. Like when we redid our inventory room, my right-hand man, John, he and I were just brainstorming, and then my new hire at the time, Juan, said, well, what if we do this? Actually, he was a little bit timid. He's like, don't get mad at me, you know, I just have this little suggestion. What if we did this? I'm just throwing it out there. Man, great idea, and has affected how we organize a lot of stuff, not just in our inventory room, but all across the company as well. Such a great little input by the low man on the totem pole. So yeah, collaborative environments are great. If an employee doesn't like lean and he's just not buying in and is not collaborative, boy, that is a liability. He is not an asset. So sometimes you just have to do the hard thing of letting that employee go. I believe that lean has so many great effects on the company. If you have that employee that is not buying in, that's almost like a cancer that can spread and affect the culture of the company. Maybe that person might also have to leave. So that's harsh. I haven't come close to doing that, but I know that it's happened with other colleagues and it's only been a net gain. So Hey, that's all I got for this week's Q&A. If you have some input on what I've said, add it to the comments section. And if you like this Q&A, consider subscribing if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification button. That way you'll be one of the first to watch the next episode. And until next episode, go innovate your production.